Welcome to Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy. I am so excited to have my guest, Joey, as we talk about so much about stretching. What do you know about stretching? Not too much information, do you? But he's going to share some great techniques and why the importance of stretching, especially as the older you get. There's some things that you need to know. There are so many importance to it that helps with the circulation of the body, the movement, and the older you get, you only got one temple. So you need to learn the techniques, even if you're not a gym, even if you're not a person that goes to the gym, even if you're not someone who works out on a regular. But stretching is definitely a something that you would need forever and always. So, but as you all know, Coffee with Joy is wearing her vote shirt. So please make sure that you go out and vote. For this is such a critical moment in our time. And if you don't vote, you're doing yourself an injustice, right? So many people have died just for us to vote. So please go out and vote. I can't tell you who to vote for, but I can tell you who to vote for. Yes, please make sure that you go out and vote. We only got this test one time. There's no makeup. November 6th, there is no reclaiming it. As you all see, so many issues are on the table. So many things are here that we need to all go out and vote. If you're able and capable to vote, please make sure that you go out and vote. Also, make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy for so many great conversation, so many testimonials, so many how-tos are coming across our stream. But we'll love for you to take part. Please leave your comment. Please make sure that you follow, like, and share Coffee with Joy. So now I'm going to bring on my guest, Joey. Yes, Joey's in the building. Woo! Hey, Joey, you here? Joey is back. Woo, woo. Hey, okay. Joey. Yes. So can you tell people a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to jump right into our conversation.
Yeah, so my name is Joey. I'm an occupational therapist. I'm also a stretch therapist, but I just like to say I'm a holistic provider. A part of that comes just helping people adjust to their lifestyles, no matter the age. So I help people as young as 1 year old all the way up to plus 100, you can name it. I have a huge background in an acute care setting, inpatient rehab, outpatient setting, and just a normal clinic that you would just come into from having pain. That can be anywhere that you can possibly think of. It could be neck pain, back pain, arthritis, sciatica, things of that sort. I just like to say I'm a specialist that likes to help people with diet, sleep, exercise, and stress. And when you just have that combination of stuff all in one bowl, it will give you the highest quality of life with just the right advice.
So what made you get into being an OT, a holistic provider? How did you get into all of this?
I can honestly say it really just found me. So I went to undergrad at Catawba College in Salisbury, North Carolina. My major was therapeutic recreation, double minor in psychology and information systems. Didn't really know what I wanted to do by the end of senior year. And then I just kind of stumbled upon occupational therapy, started going down that rabbit hole. I applied, I got in. And right after I finished school, I just got right at it. I just always knew I had a niche to try to help people. Didn't necessarily know who, but I just know that I had a mission to help everyone the best I can, no matter the age.
Wow. Now, of course, and I'm a victim to it, right? I don't stretch as much when I go work out, right? I just work out and I'm in and I'm out. And I know there's so much importance to it. Of course, when social media is showing me, I hear the conversation. But can you tell us just like of 2 or 3 importance? Why is it very important that one must stretch daily, whether they go to the gym or not? Why the importance of stretching?
Of course, the importance of stretch is that the body is made to move in certain motions and functions. That's the responsibility of it, to help us survive and move around. But guess what? As that famous term comes, if you don't use it, then you lose it. And with that, a muscle's whole point is supposed to contract and relax. And if we aren't doing these things to the body, we just get locked up. We get different ailments that we called our back pain, called our neck pain, our sciatica. We get nerve-related issues and things of that sort. So when we get these things that pop up against us, if we're not stretching and moving the body how it was intended to, the body is going to start to tell you these things by giving you pain.
Now, I know it's sad to say I'm a victim to it, but I try my best to make sure that I stretch daily, rather than just a simple back stretch or, stretching the body completely. Just try to make sure that I stretch. Now, what is some like the pros and cons when you hear some of your clients who don't stretch or say, you know what, I'm not going to stretch. I'm not going to. What is like the pros and cons with that? Trying to fight someone, not literally, but trying to fight someone to get out there to make sure that you stretch before and after exercising, or just stretching, period.
So some of the pros of stretching is that one, you'll get increased blood flow to all your joints and ligaments and things of that sort. And once you're able to do so, you can give the proper amount of oxygen, blood, vitamins, nutrients to everything that you need for the body. Some of the cons is that it can lead to injury, it can lead to sickness, and everything that you can possibly think of that can come with that. And no one wants to live that way. And
Yeah.
I'm an advocate for living the highest quality of life. So I just like to tell everyone to just get moving because that's what the body needs.
Right. And when you say holistic, like what does that consist of when someone who comes to see you or probably have a consultation with you and just trying to make sure that they want to live a healthier life if they're trying to better their stretching technique or just working out?
Yeah, so once you get a consultation with me, I just like to take a deeper dive of one, how did we get to this point that we're at right now? So that can just mean looking at your habits. What are you doing all the time? Your roles, what type of things are you doing day in, day out? What roles do you have to someone else? Are you just a worker? Are you a parent? Are you someone's guardian? And just your routine. What are you doing day in and day out again? So I like to take these things and I like to just find out what's going on. And from there, we get to have a mix of things. So I get to look at your diet, your sleep, your exercise, and what you're doing, and how you manage your stress. And then from there, I kind of move forward on just letting you know some things that we can just take the natural routes, the things that we can put in our bodies, the different techniques that we can use day in and day out to help give us the highest quality of life.
Oh, wow. Now, what are like some techniques that you do for someone who may be a beginner? They come to see you, their body is not very mobile. Like, what are some of the beginning techniques that you start with to the advanced techniques?
Okay, so if someone's just a beginner and they're very tight, the first thing I probably I'd like to tell them is that we just need movement, some type of movement. That could be going for a walk, that could be going for a hike, whatever that means to you. If someone's more active, the body is always going to want to do more. So I'm just
Mhm.
looking for little things that I can just add to them. It could be as simple as one stretch, it could be a combination of two or three, just to stretch the hamstrings. We all sit down, we're all in cars all the time. People forget about the hip flexors, and that's one of the main causes of back pain is that we sit down all the time, and there's other things in that region that can tighten up to the point that once you
Mhm.
stand up, it's really nagging you. It's telling you you haven't moved me for a while. We need to start moving. Um,
Right.
so just a part of all of that. I just like to kind of grade it based off of who's coming to see me.
Mm. Now, what has been like your worst client that you work with that you're trying to one of your, and I mean, of course, no names, but like what has, because I know everything can't be all peachy. Like, yeah, I come here and I want to stretch. I want to learn all about my body. I want to XYZ. But you do have people who are combative. They come with this high spirit, and next they really don't understand that it takes a lot of work to get the body to what the mind is, right? Because like you stated, if you don't use it, you lose it. And some people never use it even though it was there, they never even thought about it. So what has been like your combative client or or player that's you're trying to get them to understand the importance, why they need it, why is it important, and so forth?
Okay. So, man, I really hope he doesn't know who I'm talking about. So, my guy got tight hips. They are so tight to the point where it's starting to impact his function a little bit.
Mm.
It's hard for him to put on his shoes. And as adults, we need to put on our shoes to get to where we're going. So it's affecting his quality of life. So with that, I'm always encouraging movement. I give homework exercises. We talk about proper hydration. Um, and when he does his homework, I can tell because I'm able to move the body how it's supposed to. It's very free flowing. And when it's not, we're kind of just moving bit by bit, just trying to release all the little things to get
Mm.
things trucking and moving. The hips are supposed to be moving.
Right.
And when he does the things he's supposed to do, he'll even tell me he had a better week. It didn't take as long to stand up that day. But
Mm.
when he does his homework, it's even better. So that's probably be my most problematic, not problematic, the most combative, you would say. Um, and if I'm giving you another example, I have someone else who does all their homework they're supposed to. They get the moving, they take the advice, they manage their diet, sleep, exercise, and stress, and they're able to get back to the things that they wanted to do. His main goal was to get outside and run with his daughter. He's able to do so pain-free. And his daughter makes him the happiest thing inside the world. So now he's the happiest man in the world.
That's phenomenal. Now, I want to go back when you say get up, because I feel like I'm just telling myself, just telling my age and everything. But hey, I'm still young, people. Okay. I feel like, and okay, educated by day, talk show host by night, right? So I'm sitting down at least at the beginning of the school year because we're doing a lot of assessments, we're getting our students together, whatever the case may be. But I do feel when I get up, you start hearing this snack, crackle, pop, and I'm like, this does not sound right, and I have to like pause. I have to pause when I stand up, and I'm like, okay, whew, and then proceed to walk. And I know it's very minimal information, but what do you take from that? And of course, I'm not asking you to diagnose me or nothing, but just asking, like, in your field, as you say, sitting down, you could tell the flow of getting up. What is that? What is your opinion on that? Let me say.
My opinion on that is that, as I spoke before, when we're sitting down a lot, we have two main factors that are tightening up most likely. So we have our hip flexors, and we have our rectus femoris that goes right down the middle of the quad. That muscle is responsible for flexion at the hip and also straightening the knee. So we're extending it. And when we stay stiff for a long period of time, once we stand up, that muscle needs some time to release because it's been shortened for so long. And once you stand up, you're almost trying to yank it apart. And it needs some time to just let go a little bit. And then that's when you start the moving. The snap, popples, and cracks, they're not a bad thing. It's just you moving. It's like, okay, now I'm getting going. Because
I'm telling you, I don't hear it all the time. I probably heard it like a couple of times, but again, I'm not thinking nothing of it. But when you say it now, it's like everything is rushing towards the frontal lobe. Like, yeah, that happened to me. Like, now I'm be conscious of like standing up, moving, and I tried to make sure that I do a lot of movement. With the mere fact that we're sitting down trying to, but sitting down with the students or whatever. But I know for a fact that it's a constantly moving. I'm trying to move, make sure that my blood is flowing. Making sure that it's operating. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, follow Coffee with Joy. We're going to continue to talk to my guest, Joey, as we talk about, what are some things that you need to eat? What are some great movements that you can do, whether you're at home or you're in the gym? So stay tuned after these messages. Want to look cute in the gym? Well, these cute workout sets are the bomb. Make sure that you hit the PayPal QR code and so that you can find out more about these cute sets and so much more. Let's get to working out. Yes! So welcome back to Coffee with Joy. I'm your host, Joy. So excited to have you all on the show. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy for some great information. And please make sure that you leave a comment. And, our guest Joy definitely would love to read your comment. So we're going to have Joy back into the building. Yes. Hey, Joy. So great. Again, we had such a great conversation at the beginning of the show. So now what are some things that you would say that your client would need to eat in order to make sure that there's, the proper fluid? They have so many things out, right? But from your take, what are some meals that an individual should eat in order to help with their stretching, with their eating, or how they're, moving, or just their daily movement per day?
I would probably have to say it's not something that I'm recommending that we like just fully eat. It's not any certain type of food. It's very hard to break out of habits. So I just try to do a habit versus taking stuff out. I just try to minimize it so you can still have the things that you desire. But I more so just talk about hydration, fruits and vegetables and things of that sort. Things that can break up mucus inside the body so that different ailments don't start to come upon us. With proper hydration, all of our bodily systems can
he
start
just got
to move.
certified in September.
Some of the biggest things that kind of impact people
and when he showed up to class, this man told me that his hands are his eyes.
We're not processing everything that we
That's what he told me. He said his hands are his eyes.
Full of stuff.
And I was like, oh yeah?
It's hard to move around. And even stretching can kind of help with our bowel movements and things of that sort.
Yes, because now, is there a certain name for, like, if a person is at home and they want to do certain stretchings? Like, what can they do if somebody's at home and they just say, okay, we want you to commit to 3 stretch per day? What are like 3 easy steps that someone could take away from this conversation and say, you know what, I'm gonna start my stretching today ASAP because I'm able and capable of doing that? What are 3 easy stretches that one can do to help with their mobility and just starting from scratch?
I would probably have to say one could be the couch stretch. So getting your foot up on the couch behind you, even while you're standing up, keeping the hips nice and square and stretching out that hip flexor because we're all sitting down all the time. That's one.
Mhm.
2, I would say some form of a hamstring stretch. Even for a beginner, you can just start to reach on down with a straight leg as much as possible. Nothing like too painful, within a pain-free zone of reaching down for the hamstring. And I would probably say the
Chris,
last
this boy
one
flew down from
is some
Salisbury
type of rotation
to
of the
come down to
spine.
Atlanta. I had the course in Atlanta.
Just coming back and forth.
As soon as
just
he
like
got back
this.
home,
Because
he
if we're
was on
staying
my
nice and straight from driving,
line.
sitting down all day,
Like, man, I'm trying to get in there. I'm like, dog, listen, man, I don't take new people, man. Like, get out of
the
here.
spine was made
You know what I
to
mean?
move. That's
Like, he
what
just
it was
stuck
intended
around.
to do. So if we're not
Right?
moving
He kept on
it,
coming.
we're losing it.
I'd show up to
Pain
the
in the
office
elbow
and he in there.
So those are the 3. I would say some type of rotation.
He hungry
of
for it.
twisting, the couch stretch or some type of hip flexor stretch, as well as the hamstring stretch.
Oh wow. So I know I can definitely do the 3. I can surely do the 3. I'm excited. Of course. Of course, I am all about the health tip. I'm trying to make sure I get my meal prep together. But those are some great tips for someone to take away that's not really, hey, we ask you to go buy this equipment. You could do it in the comfort of your own home or at work and just be able to incorporate. Now, how many times should one stretch? Like, what does that stretching look like? Or is there amount of a number for a student, for a person to be able to stretch?
I like to recommend somewhere between 10 and 20 repetitions of whatever type of stretch you're doing, and or for some type of time. One way that one could get the most benefit is from foam rolling, which can take a good amount of time, which could be up to 30 minutes. I would say probably for my beginners who are experiencing pain, somewhere between 30 minutes. And for my more active folks, they could probably get away with like a 15 to 20-minute routine.
Oh, wow. I mean, because people are always, we're so busy, right? We don't have time, but we have to incorporate time because, like I said, you only have one body, just one temple. So you have to make sure that you pour back into your body and making sure that you incorporate what's needed to make you feel good, so that no ailment or sickness, come upon you, so that you're eating and, doing your body justice. So making sure that, and sometimes when somebody hear like, oh, you got to do it 2-3 times a day, it's kind of like, okay, it's in my head. It's almost like the gallon of water with the Stanley cups,
Yes,
everybody's
yes.
wearing those. They carrying that around because, hey, I know hydration. I got to make sure that I drink my water, or even if I'm being very demure, very cutesy with it, hey, I'm gonna drink my water. I may not be drinking all of it, but I'm gonna hold it. So sometimes the redundancy of telling people, hey, you need to do it 3 times XYZ. So I know in the video, while you're with your clients, like, what are some of the stretches that you always start with your clients, or you just have variations that you do with each client?
The first stretch that I typically always do with someone is a lower body traction, which is just a decompression of the spine. It feels nice and it feels lovely. I've met a single person who doesn't like it, because we're taking the weight from gravity every single day. So that's the first move that I'm typically doing with everyone, just to give you some type of relief. I personally like to say stretching is like a massage for the brain.
That's good. That's good. And I guess I really want to focus on stretching because I think we lose that lose that component. And I am victim, like I said, I'm victim to that. You go work out, and even though they say, hey, you got to stretch out after and before, sometimes you're like, let me just go ahead. I just want to work out, not knowing that it's a must to work out. I mean, to stretch. Now, someone who constantly work out and they don't incorporate stress, what are some of the downfall will come with that? Even though they're working out, but they don't stretch. That's what's, calling myself out, but not calling
Yeah,
myself out.
of course. So if someone's working out, they're doing the one function that I told you that the muscle does, which is contract. And if we aren't doing the opposite, which is relaxing that muscle, different things can come upon you. So let's say for some reason I'm a macho man, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing my bench press and things of that sort. You will start to see those guys that walk like this. Like they'll get that internal rotation of their arm and it'll start to roll forward because we're getting that tightness of the chest because this is where the fibers go inside the chest. With that being said, they will definitely have a hard time raising their arm above their head. That would definitely be something that someone has a hard time with, or they'll develop some type of impingement inside the shoulder, which will stop them from having that full range of motion that they need. Um, so that's just one example of when you go into the gym, it's good to have a proper warm up to prevent any type of injuries that might come upon you when you're lifting weight and you're giving load and some type of stimulus to the body.
Okay.
And it's good for afterwards because you were just contracting that muscle so much, you have to let it go and release it.
Wow. Wow, that's great to hear. So now, where do you see yourself like in 5 years taking your profession on? Where do you see yourself in 5 years doing this? Because you're so great at it, you articulate well on it, and it's so great to hear.
In 5 years, I still see myself continuing to help people and being hands-on, but I also see myself in a teaching environment. A part of the company that I work for the Stretch Law, we have an academy where we teach people how to do this. Even if people are just doing this for their partner, they're learning how to do it for their kids or whatever that purpose may be. I still see myself teaching people how to do this. I feel like it's a part of my calling, and I can just see myself spreading this to as much people as I can while I'm on this earth.
Oh, that's good. Because I could see you with, I guess, like an NFL team, working with the NFL. Because truly, they are one of the, I say, if I had to say top three sports, let me just say sports, truly needed because their muscles are constantly being used. They're being stretched to a point consistently. I remember reading this quote from Usain Bolt where he's trained for 4 years for 7 seconds. So it's like that constantly just going and going and working and working. And you need that personal or that individual to really help to get the body moving, to get the body circulating, to understand the importance of stretching because anything could go wrong, anything could happen. So that's what that's what I thought, but hey, truly teaching is great because we could read it, but when someone is in your ear consistently and telling you the importance of stretching is very, very important. Now, is there anything that you like to share with people that, that's something that goes beyond stretching that you do that really, because again, from the hindsight, we look and see what you're doing, right? But there's so many intricate details that you do along the way, as you say, like the holistic, the stretching, making sure, the teaching. Is there anything in between that one must know that goes accelerate beyond the stretching with the body, of course?
Besides stretching the body, I always like to tell people to be mindful of your thoughts and manage your stress. I think mental health is a big thing. That's actually one of the reasons why I went into occupational therapy. But that's part of the reason why I got into this because you get to truly be there for someone. You get to become their person. It's someone that they come to about their problems. And we don't have enough people in the world to just have space and hold that space for someone, for them to let you know what they have going on inside their life. So a part of the stretch that I'd like to say we don't talk about enough is that increase in blood flow to the body. Because when we're not eating right and we're having bad stress habits, bad ways of compensating with different things, we have an increase in cortisol in the body, and that will in return cause inflammation responses throughout the body, and we get to be shut off. But after we're done stretching and we get to communicate what we have going on, you'll start realizing that you're thinking better from that increase in blood flow to the brain. Start to realize that you're communicating for people a lot better. And you just get to show up for people in a different way that you would normally do so.
Right. Oh, wow. And see, and again, one may think they know so much or just by reading or seeing, but when you're really on the field and you're really gaining that experience, there's so many things that we miss. We come in, and I just speak from a client to going into a business thinking that, yeah, I know your job. I know what I want, how to, what detail I'm looking for. So when you have the when you're consulting with your client, you're able to explain that, because again, like you stated, the mental is definitely one. That's something that no one really want to zone in on and really pay attention to. So that's great to hear. So as we bring the show to a close, Joey, what keeps Joey going? What keeps Joey in the business of making sure, hey, I stay fit for myself, but not just, for the individual, but also for myself, because I got to be poured into as well as I'm pouring out. So what keeps you going as far as like affirmation, prayer, or, scripture? What keeps you going to make sure that you're able to pour out so much to clients and beyond?
Affirmations is a great one. Always be mindful of your thoughts, because what happens first inside the mind would then happen to the body. Prayer is another good one, but I would always like to say some type of movement. I was a 3-sport athlete, played football, ran track and field, my main sport being lacrosse. But even before all those things happened, I was a dancer. So
Wow.
I like to tell people whatever movement works best for you is the best movement that you can possibly do. Whatever works for you, whatever fits inside your schedule. So that's what I do. I could be jamming out inside the car, or if I have some time to put on some tunes, I'm always moving. They like to say stretching is like a dance. It's like a waltz, as my boss would say. And I'd like to take that as a thing. So as I'm stretching and moving you, I'm also moving all parts of my body, and I feel certain stretches as I'm taking you through your movements. So when I get to see people and they get to relieve the different things that they have going on, that's what pours back into me and lets me know I'm doing good work on this earth.
Ooh, yes, that's so great. So thank you, Joy, for being on Coffee with Joy. So excited to have you. I know the information, I know it's not much time, but just the little information that you shared out today is definitely a mouthful, is very eye-opening, and there are some takeaways. People be able to take just the 3 little pieces that you share and be able to start today. So even if you're not a gym or a workout person, still stretch, still give that body, because there's so many benefits of helping that body. So again, thank you, Joy, for being on Coffee with Joy. So please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy. We're always looking for guests. So please make sure that you write any comments that I know Joy will definitely look forward to. And make sure that you go out and vote. Again, I can't tell you who to vote for, but please make sure that you vote for. It's very critical. And if you like to patronize Coffee with Joy, please make sure you follow our QR codes, and any amount would do. So as you all know, if it's a weekday or weekend, it is Coffee with Joy. Until then, you all live life on purpose. Talk to you all soon. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.